Show. Yeah, I believe in I don't believe in lucky sevens. I'm not sure about Loch Ness, but I know I believe in angels. I believe in happiness.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I am very excited. I have to say, my mouse is about to about to die. So I was plugging it in for maybe 30 seconds, hoping that's going to fill it up, right? Technology, my goodness, live is live. And I absolutely love that you are connected with us live. Make sure that you do check out the Caffeinated Cooper Show channel on YouTube. Ring that bell. You'll never miss a scheduled show. And then go over to Binge Networks or Amazon Prime Video, where you will find yours truly and the Caffeinated Cooper Show there as well in post-production. So give us a couple of days. But I have a great guest, a beautiful young lady who has so many different abilities and skills, and she has really put them to work, connected with us. We're going to get to her in just a moment while we talk about our sponsor. And I have to tell you, today is a large recording day, so I needed a little something, and I got into my red bars right here. No lies here. I've eaten half of one. They are absolutely delicious. And I want to make sure that I pull up the information in case you are visually watching the show. You can go ahead and write that down. Don't go to the website yet. Please do it after the show. I don't want you to miss anything at all. But red is spelled with two D's. So REDDBAR.com, redbar.com. But you don't have to go to Red Bar to go get your red bars. They are now available at your local Publix if you happen to be in the southeast region of the United States. They are available, of course, on redbar.com. And most of these companies do have a little something for you for the new year and for the holidays, which is a few percentage off. I believe they're offering 15% off of your first order. And then Amazon, you can get anything on Amazon. You can definitely get Red Bar on Amazon. So let me tell you why I love this so much. It is plant-based nutrition, gluten, soy, dairy, GMO free, 10 grams of protein with only, depending on the flavor, 2 to 5 grams of sugar. Pre-probiotics. So it is a tummy good, low sugar treat. And I really love that because it comes in such yummy flavors: chocolate, oatmeal, peanut butter, mint chocolate, salted caramel, and more. As the new year comes, most companies will have new flavors, and I've heard a little rumor there may be some new flavors. So this is a new generation of protein bars delivering low sugar, high fiber energy from handcrafted recipes. And you know what's best about this? When you open it up, you can see the food that it's made of. I mean, this was developed by, I believe they were cyclists when I interviewed them a long time ago. And they needed something ready on the go in the middle of a triathlon. And this is what they came up with. And it's really a brilliant product. So make sure that you go check it out. All right, everybody. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and introduce the lady that has carved out a little bit of time for little old me. And I am so very thankful because we're going to find out a lot of things, especially coming into the new year. We all want to get, what's that? Fit, right? Bathing suit season's right around the corner. All right, Ursula Maria. She was born in Austria, grew up with a passion for acting, music, and dancing, and took dance lessons for over 20 years, even as she explored her acting and musical talents. Then she ultimately arrived to the United States and began working in Hollywood, where her beauty and talent struck a chord with producers and audiences alike. After a few years and more than 24 credits, things slowed down with the pandemic, and she found herself trying to find a new creative outlet and beginning using her athletic and dance talents. And let me tell you, dance is some of the best exercise, the most beautiful bodies on the face of the earth are dancers. I just have to add that in here. To offer personal training and fitness classes to clients. She provides easy to understand workout routines tailored to one's strengths and abilities. Whether you're young or old, she believes most people should be active and conscious of the need to stay fit and healthy. With a background in dance and music, she incorporates many dance stretches and routines to make the workout more fun and effective. A firm believer in a healthy body equals a healthy mind. Excuse me. She aims to give her students a positive experience. Oh, don't suck on air, Mom. Without any further ado, Miss Ursula Maria. Ursula, I'm going to get it together. I promise you. I'm going to get a cough drop. Will you tell us a little bit about yourself? Hello and welcome.
Hi.
So you are very...
Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. You are quite young to have 20 years of dance experience.
Well, I'm not that young, but let's just say I started very early. Yeah, so I got into dancing early. I think, well, how did it come about? Well, I think my parents asked me what kind of fitness I would like to do during the next school year. And I've always loved music. I adore music. So dancing it was like moving to music. That just, what would be better than that? So that's how I started. And I got into it rather quickly. Like I just fell fully into it and trained like 20, 25 classes per week. It's just, yeah, I loved it.
A lot of activity.
Yeah, I was at school and then at dance school and then got home late and rinse and repeat. So yeah.
Wow.
But I love
it. Okay, so your dancing career, was most of it in Austria? Was it in the United States, or is it a mixture of the two?
So most of it was definitely in Austria. I did pursue it for a little while out here in the US for about 2 years, but the majority is definitely in Austria.
And I apologize. My
All
throat
good.
does not work with me from time to time. And unfortunately, it's like I've had enough, lady. So it will come back, and I apologize for a little bit of coughing. Now, in your bio, I read how you moved to the United States, and it sounds like immediately struck it, and you began booking projects. Is that how it worked, or was there an integration process? Like, how did that go for you?
Definitely. So when I came here, went to school for a while first, and it was pretty much full time. So including weekends and rehearsals. So there wasn't much time to do anything, but I still took dance classes and auditioned, but I didn't, only after like 2.5, 3 years, it started picking up.
Okay. And what did you have in mind when you were thinking of Hollywood? It's something that you can't envision, I've noticed. It is its own animal. And as much as you try to like prepare yourself, there's really no preparing. So, what did you have in mind of what Hollywood was going to be like? And did it match your expectations?
So I didn't have anything too specific in mind. I just knew it's a bigger city. The city has more people living in it than my entire country. So I knew it was going to be a big city. And I knew that English is the language, which is also possible. And I knew that the dance scene was incredible. And it's just for the type of dance that I did, it was perfect. So that's the reason I chose LA to come to. So it wasn't just Hollywood, it was just the dance stuff. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was the style that you really love?
So my favorite was lyrical jazz. So it's
Mhm.
kind of slower jazz and hip hop.
Oh,
But
really?
but I trained extensively in ballet and jazz dance, and I did musical jazz as well. So yeah.
Oh, very nice. Okay. So now you're here in the United States and you want to get into film and television. Now,
Right.
most people know in Hollywood to be non-union is a bit tough, but to try to get your foot through the door, you need a manager, and the manager
Mhm.
helps you to maybe get in front of some casting directors, possibly get an agent. How did that go for you?
So I don't know if I got an agent first or a manager, but it's definitely easier to get a commercial representation. So that's how I started. And yeah, I've had multiple managers and agents, but it didn't really work out. But I'm with a commercial agency that I like a lot, and so I'm sticking with them. But it takes some trial and error.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh, what about the funding to be able to afford being in Hollywood? Um, were you working multiple jobs, or had you set yourself up well in Austria so that you knew you had a certain amount of time?
At the beginning, I had a little bit of time left also because if you're on a student visa, you can't work.
Right, right.
So you have to get a work permission first, and that's not that easy. So if you want to obey the rules, you should definitely have some savings. But then, yeah, once I got the work permission, I was working multiple things, whatever was possible. And then, the commercials pay well if you book, but it's like especially with acting is often like it's not consistent unless you're a serious regular or you consistently work on a show. You want to have other streams of income. At least I do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that is definitely key because it has always been quite expensive. At least for us, I've always lived in America and we know where it's expensive. Hollywood, San Francisco, New York, like forget about it. It's just really expensive to live. Um, so I appreciate your advice that you're sharing with everybody because that is a great note, especially if they're international, is that you can't legally work for a while. So,
Unless you have a green card for some reason, I know dual citizens, or you have some sort of work permit. It's just my particular case, and a lot of international students, they have to be able to support themselves for a little while.
sure, sure. All right.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about you have a new fitness workout that you're
Yeah.
currently publishing on YouTube and you're
Mhm.
working on the website, but that's not quite up yet. So, tell me about the workout and your dance history. Do they really hold hands together?
Um, well, I've always been very athletic and did other things besides dance, even though dance was the number one. It's just fitness always came easy to me. And during the pandemic, I got a little bike at home because everything was closed down and you weren't even allowed to go outside and whatnot. So I figured I have to move somehow. And I started just taking spin classes that are like, you know, posted online somewhere. And I didn't even know what rhythm cycling is. So I always feel like I want to move to the music. It's just what you do. So I thought that was spinning, but apparently there's like spinning and rhythm cycling. And anyways, I like the one where you kind of like choreograph a routine to the songs. And I consider it a dance on the bike. Now, it's not going to be a full on dance, but it's somewhat like that. Music speeds up, something happens, you speed up, or there's slower parts. And I feel like for me, it makes it a lot easier because the music carries me through any workout that I do. So for a while, I just took classes, and then I just wanted to spin to the music that I like the best. So I started, preparing like little classes for myself. And then there were some that I liked that I did multiple times. I'm like, what if I film it and post it online, Because I never wanted to go into fitness teaching. I still don't, because I'm saying it's very saturated market. Everybody's posting. I used to be a dance teacher. I started dance teaching very early when I was like 13. I started my first classes, and I've been teaching a lot. I've always liked it, but the fitness teaching, like, I just never saw myself as doing that, but I really like making the classes, and I like getting better at it. And, I really enjoy the process of it. So I'm working on that now. It's been fun.
Are you still instructing dance?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. What style did you instruct? Is it hip hop and lyrical jazz?
I taught kids a lot in, like, jazz, hip hop, and then baby ballet. So
Oh.
yeah, and then also like commercial dance, and we called it it's like the music video stuff that we did that a lot. I did that a lot.
Okay. All right. I would love to share one of your videos. I have YouTube pulled up. So this is
Okay.
Fit with Ursula on
Yes.
YouTube. And is there a particular video that you would like us to see?
So I just posted the Missy Elliott, for example, the second one up. I just posted that the other day. One to the right.
Okay.
Yeah, this one. We
All
can
right.
start with that.
All right. Let's take a look.
Hi, welcome to another Fit with Ursula class, Spin with Ursula. Today's a 45-minute spin class, only Missy Elliott songs. Okay, give me about a 5 out of 10 warm-up song. Right, left, right, left. More gear.
Oh, I like it. Not
Thanks.
to share too much because social media will be like, oh, you don't have permission to share that music.
Oh, well, okay, this was another interesting thing. So because it's like all the music that I like, it's not going to be a copyright-free thing. So I uploaded the classes first and like got everything on a copyright strike. I'm like, what am I going to do? Because, I don't have the license for any of this. So it's like, I just ask for using it as fair use exception and to use it for videos that I don't monetize. I can't even, YouTube won't let me. And if there is an ad at some point, if one picks up, then the money would go to the people who own the music, which is fine with me. I just want to be able to use it.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So for now, it's doable.
Absolutely. And that's good to know because there's a lot of people that do not want to monetize their videos, but they do want to be able to use music in it. So that's really usable information that you just shared because a lot of us don't know that. So we were just watching for just a moment. This is Fit with Ursula. They are available on YouTube right now, and she is building out her website very, very soon. So these are, as you described, dance incorporated workouts at home. So it's something that you can follow and do at home. Do all of them include the bike?
For now, the first ones, yes, but I will also have stretching and yoga classes and classes where I focus on building muscles, like sit-ups and stuff. I do want those categories as well. I just started with the bikes.
Okay. Will there be a point in time to where some of the styles you don't post on YouTube because you really want to be able to drive some people to the new website coming soon?
You mean that I only post it on the website?
Yeah. So let's say like maybe your yoga classes, they're
Yeah.
only available on the website. Like, would you do something like that or can
Later on, sure. Yeah, later on, sure. Or like a subscription form or something. But for now, I'm just building up an audience or giving, as I'm not perfect yet, definitely. There are still things I'm tweaking. I'm just letting people watch if they want to. I hope somebody will give me feedback. I really appreciate that. Leave a comment or something. And then later on, sure, that's definitely an option.
Mhm. Well, I love it. You make it very fun and fluid. Which, of course, I mean, that's what you've done your whole life, fun and fluid to music and body movement, and it really
Right.
shines through in your videos. So,
Thank you.
I'd love to take a look at your website. Let us know as soon as that's available. But
Will
you
do.
you have so many things in your background. When you booked your first, let's say, I know you were working on commercials. Let's say now you're working on, was it a movie or a television show?
Which one?
For your career, you had said that you had some commercials that you had booked first.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then was it a movie or a television show that
Short movies
okay.
or parts and features, and then yeah, mainly that.
So when you were working in the movies, were you ever acting in Austria or just dancing, not really into the acting? Um,
Mainly dance in Austria.
Mainly dance.
Yeah.
So my
Mhm.
question was, what did you find in the etiquette that maybe seemed a little strange or that you absolutely loved once you got onto set? And of course, you're on set for commercials as well, but it's a little bit of a different dynamic, right? For slightly different for shooting a commercial versus being now you're on a movie set. Um,
Okay, you mean, well, if it's a SAG project, which is most of the commercials and some of the movies, because I've also worked on non-union movies, like that's the big difference. If it's SAG, you know what to expect. You know this meal breaks at a certain time. You know there's rules to everything,
right.
which makes it a lot more, you just know what you're getting into. When I did non-union, anything could happen, there was no, you don't know what's going to be happening. So I feel like that's the biggest difference.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
That is a great point too, especially for any stunt work, because I did see that you have a stunt reel.
I just did that because another thing, like, it just comes so easy to me. Like, I originally shot a fitness video with the guy that I also did the stunt reel with, and he's a stunt coordinator and trainer, and he just showed me some stuff, and I'm like, I think I can do that, like it just, because I can copy movement. You show me once, twice, three times, I can copy, and then if I can figure out the strength, and most of these things don't require that much strength, but they're all about positioning, like because you see like smaller people throw bigger people, like
Mhm.
there's technique. So I just wanted to have one because I can do it, and then I don't know anybody, I don't have any relations, I'm not like friends or related to people in the industry, so I need like any extra I can have. So if it's like comes down to they need somebody who can also do their own stunts. So I figured, and then I want to have it ready because I want to give it to them right away because yeah. And put it on IMDb and whatnot because you never know.
No, absolutely. And I would love to pull up your IMDb, so I'm going to because your photography
Oh,
is amazing. And as I took a little sidetrack in the middle of your intro because I personally notice the most fit, the most toned bodies are of professional dancers. It's an amazing workout.
I,
Um,
I I think it also comes, especially with ballet and stuff, it comes from the fact that they also like, you need to be light. So it's like muscles only, really. You don't have any, it's just, it forms the body very well.
yes, it does. It seems like um, it's not the thicker, bulkier muscles. It's a long,
Yeah.
lean muscle. And I just find it absolutely the most attractive that anyone.
Oh,
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, look at something like this.
Yeah.
When was this from?
It's a good question. It's definitely, I would say like 6 years ago,
Okay.
something.
Okay.
Might be, yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, this is this is also a couple years ago. I did a fitness shoot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, really fantastic. So, I mean, of
Thank you.
course, anybody that would like to get fit, especially in the new year, which is why I find you to be a wonderful guest for the very last show of 2022. So, happy new year to you and
Happy
yours.
New Year to you as well.
But we all know how crazy packed the fitness centers get in January. Everybody wants to shed anything extra they have.
Yeah, it's also the New Year's resolution, right? People want to be fit, and then they're like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym 4 days a week at 6 a.m. or whatever. They do something like this, and they last for like 3 solid weeks, and then they're just, back to the old habits. I think I mean, it really depends on how narcissistic you are. I always say it like this: if you can get yourself motivated just by wanting to be hot, like when you're naked, and that's going to drive you to the gym, do it. Perfect. I consider myself narcissistic, but not that. I just can't do it. If I do it for looks, I'll fall off
Mm.
because I'm like, who am I? I'll be fine. But if I do it because I enjoy actually doing it, it's the only way I'm gonna stick with it because it's a thing that I enjoy. Now, am I always gonna love it? No, there's days where I have to probably push myself into it, but generally speaking, I enjoy it. So I think the key is finding an exercise, a workout program, anything really that you personally enjoy
Mhm.
doing,
Mhm.
that you look forward to, whether that's going for a run with music or podcast or I don't know, lifting, whatever. There's so many things these days. And if you enjoy it, then you'll stick with it.
And I think that's great advice to share with everyone. I would love to ask you about the nutrition component because there were years ago where I'd spend 3, 4 hours in the gym, hit high intensity cardio type thing. And then you come to a plateau that feels like it takes dynamite to try to break through. And then one of the trainers pulled me aside. And I didn't have a trainer at the time. I was just doing whatever felt good to my body. And he said, 70% of this game or more is your nutrition, what goes in your mouth. And I thought,
Yeah.
well, I just thought that you could burn off anything.
They say abs are made in the kitchen because I think it's like a lot of people have the muscle, but you just can't see it. But so yeah, food is definitely, I mean, un, you can't work out a bad diet or something. I've read that once, and it's true because you can eat so many calories in a very short amount of time, but to burn it back off, it takes much longer time. So it's not going to be that. It's still great to work out even if you don't eat well. So it's still better to work out, but if you also focus on a good diet, it's definitely going to be a lot more rewarding. You'll
Do
see
you,
a bigger change.
do you think that would be something that you would share with people, like your diet? So do you have like a standard thing that you mainly try to eat? Of course, everybody, veers to the left or to the right on some days, but in general, what do you eat?
I could do that and I can share some stuff, but I've also found that the problem with these asking other people what they eat and these pre-made diets is that each body is very different. Okay, so an example, when I was in school, like 12, 13-year-old, I thought, well, I'm kind of heavier. There was this girl that looked exactly the form that I thought was perfect. So I asked her to give me exactly what she eats, and I'm just going to copy it so I can look like a copy of her. I ate it for like a month and a half, and then my mom was like, okay, we have to talk about your diet. Like, you kind of gaining weight, because what she ate for her metabolism, she was one of those that can eat like Nutella and chips and just stay in shape. There's people like that. When I ate it, not the same result. So I've learned early on that it has to be about what works for you. And also, I mean, and then age and whatever your fitness level plays into it, how your thyroid is working, like it, and everything has an effect on whether you burn the calories or they're gonna end up on your hips or something. But generally speaking, for me, I focus on a high protein diet. I feel like it keeps me full a lot longer.
Mhm.
And I know a lot about nutrition, but I don't actually follow that advice.
Okay.
So I know, for example, that like you shouldn't eat late at night or right before bed, but I do it all the time. So there's things that I know and I could, tell people about, but I would be honest enough to say that I don't follow it. But
You're
yeah,
extremely honest.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is also another thing about with the fitness thing. Like when I watched like how saturated the market is, I feel a lot of times it's like you can't sell me a butt class if you've been to a plastic surgeon. Like it's just dishonest. I don't like it, or at least you can do it, but you just can't say do these exercises and you're gonna get this butt. Like I'm not gonna do anything like that ever, because that's just always been bugging me. So everybody is different too. Like I can't even if you don't do any modifications, you can't say do these exercises, you're going to have that body. Like you don't know. Personally, I gain muscles very easily, but losing weight, staying lean and flexible is more of a challenge for me. There's people that work the entire opposite. They can lift forever and it's very hard for them to get any muscle mass, but they can stay lean and flexibility comes easier. It's just we all a little different. So it's finding what works for you.
Mm-hmm. I love your honesty. It shines like a bright light, because especially in this arena, it seems like everybody has their stuff together. So if you're let's say a trainer or a nutritional based trainer where you can do both, it's just like the crowd of people goes, and they run over here, and then they realize, well, that's a bunch of BS. So here comes the next person. We're gonna run over here and you're so honest. I mean, that is such practical things and thoughts and advice to say. I can tell you what I eat, but it's not necessarily going to work for you.
It's because I've tried it myself.
Yeah.
Started all this very early and I've tried it multiple times, and I can say that it just doesn't. Like some people just gain weight easier than others. Some people get more muscles easier than others.
I
If
love
we were
that.
the same, we could all win the Olympics, but
Yeah, I'm typing that in right now. Nutrition has to be personally based. And when you mentioned your thyroid, so do you have blood work done, every year or so to see where your hormone levels are and how healthy your thyroid is and things?
no, not every year, but I was just mentioning things that, like, for an example, thyroid,
Yeah.
like if it's low, you're gonna gain more weight, you're gonna like if it's so just these things I can't know about somebody. They
Mhm.
probably don't even know. So, and that's something you would probably get checked out if you feel like something is wrong.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for answering that. Man, that's just so practical. Like you just don't hear anybody who has been let's say an athlete, because I mean, you are, a dancer for 20 plus years. That's athletic, and you're perfectly toned for that specific. Um, I mean, I want to say sport because that's what comes to my mind, but it's really in a class in a league of its own. Um, and you're just so honest, and I just love that. So I want to congratulate you on that, because that's really what I think a lot of people are going to be very, very attracted to. You're easy to talk to.
I don't consider myself that honest. I think other people are fake. But
Yeah.
maybe this is also a cultural thing. Like I moved from Austria to LA. LA is not necessarily known for people telling you the truth. So just when I came here, I was like, people like, you're rude, you're too blunt, like you need to sugarcoat things. But I'm like, well, first of all, I'm speaking in a foreign language. I want to go from A to B. I want to tell you exactly. It's not me being rude. It's me trying to get a hold on the language and go to the point.
Right.
But I know it's like very different out here. It's just a little more.
Yeah, you know, to us, it's like that's an art form because you know the whole sugar coating and you don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers and walking on eggshells. Like that's a part of our culture that I don't embrace. So yeah, you're right. When you're
I've heard East Coast is a little different, but I've
East,
never lived anywhere on the East Coast, so I don't know.
East Coast is a bit different. It's less sugar coated, not so much. You can be much more direct. And I think it's a little bit, you know, more of a cultural thing. Like there's a big
I think
cultural
so.
difference from West Coast to East Coast in the United States. And then from North to South in the United States, huge cultural differences. So, but I get it. Being in Hollywood, yes, it's standoffishly polite. And there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. I'm not putting it down, but you're very refreshing.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, some of the films you are working on a film that has not begun filming yet.
Right.
So I think the question I want to ask you about that, because under an NDA, you just can't release anything.
Right.
So I'm not even going to go into questions about it. But where can people follow you? I mean, obviously there's IMDb for the projects that are upcoming, but do you post about your film work in any particular place?
If so, it would be on my personal, on the Facebook and Instagram for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your Facebook, let me just see. So we have YouTube, which is Fit with Ursula. Also hashtag Fit with Ursula. And that's the Fit with Ursula channel. That is for fitness. And right now you have a lot of cycling videos. I think I saw one stretch video. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm just starting those. I've focused on the cycling before. Yeah.
Okay. And then IMDb is Ursula Maria. So that's Ursula. And Maria is Maria. And then the one I'm looking for is Facebook. Okay, so this was different, which is why I want to make sure that I was looking for it. So it's page.of.ursula.maria.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. I want to make sure that everybody could hear that. And I read it out for them in case someone is just listening via audio. So Ursula, I want to thank you so much for your time. And please let us know when you have anything new in your world that you would like to come back on and share with us. This has really been very refreshing and delightful to have you on the show. You are so real. You are absolutely gorgeous. And you're not even made up. I mean, you just look so relaxed and comfortable. And
That's right.
I want to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. We'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye. Everybody, thank you so much for watching the show. I really appreciate you. And as always, we are blessed. You are blessed. I love you. And I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. All right, Ursula, we are no longer